Hey guys, Ball Guy Sign, and this week we're going to take a look at Gimkit's new Draw That game mode. Let's jump in. Okay, so there's three things you need to know and how this looks when you set it up is what does it look like when you are presenting it to the students? What does it look like when you're guessing and when you're drawing? I'm going to show you all three of those, but let's go ahead and get one set up. And then at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my tips and tricks and advice maybe on setting up one of these game modes. And number two, I'm going to share with you the kit that I used with my students this week because Earth Day falls this week and how you can get that to use with your students. All right, so when you set up the game mode, you're going to notice all the other choices there for game modes. And if you haven't seen the video that I did on every game mode Gimkit has, go ahead and check it out right there. Pretty quick. You can skip around to the ones you're interested in and it'll help you. But you have some settings here that I think are really important. Number one, at the very top, you're going to notice that there is a place for the dashes or fill in. I think it's called term reveal. And so as the students are drawing and guessing, it's going to fill in the blanks, sort of like Hangman, and you get to choose how many of those get filled in. And it just depends on your students, how hard the terms are, how new they are to them, how long they are. You might want to think about that setting. So once you select the draw that and you figure it all out, you have that first question that's going to ask you, do you want terms? So depending on how you set up your kit, if you have a single word term or question style, I would tend to go towards vocabulary term and definition, and then select the term and not the definition for what the kids are going to be asked to draw. So the normal way of going in is the kids will get a game code. If you're not using classes at all, then you're going to be safe. And the tip that I give at the end, you won't need. But if you set up classes, seasons, assignments, any of those things, I do have a consideration for you based on the way I've set things up. So the kids type in the code, and from there, they just get brought right into the game. And whenever you're ready, you just click Start Game. All right, so when you start the game, here's what you as the presenter are going to get every time. It's going to ask you who's drawing, and this is projected to the students. So you can choose random student, and that's sometimes what I do first of all, or you can go down that list and pick kids in order until everybody's gone once and then use random. Either one of those is a great way to start. So this one says Noah's drawing. Now, if I'm the one guessing, that's all I see. I have to wait for him to choose which term, and then I get presented with his drawing screen and the blanks on the top. So those blanks will start getting filled in, and if I know the terms really well and I can count those spaces, I can start guessing in advance, like this one happens to be planet. And so as I go ahead and guess, and I'm competing, you can see I guessed volcano, which maybe I'm not so good at counting, but students will guess. There's one really cool thing though. If you guess something that is inappropriate or is on a certain list of things that maybe you don't want displayed. So you get that one kid who thinks he's going to be funny, guessing something or getting some profanity up on the screen. I'll show you what happens when you do that. So it's pretty cool. It will block your future responses for that game until you straighten up and fly right, as my dad used to say. Okay, so you have the timer running up here in the upper left-hand corner. You see the blanks getting filled in here, and then you see the number of students who have guessed right so far. If all the students guess before the time runs out, it will stop the round and save you a little bit of time. It does give you, a running total for that round of who's winning, how many points they got. The drawer gets points if they do a great job and everybody guesses. This is how many points I got. And then we're on to the next round. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you're drawing. I choose myself here, and I'm gonna switch over to the tab. I have three terms to choose from. In this case, deforestation, volcano, and mountains. And just keep in mind, kids will choose things that are easy. So I chose deforestation. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just drawing out like a couple quick trees, put the tree trunk in there. Kids will often forget about the brush size and the color, but they're a little faster than I was. So now I'm just gonna try to draw, see if you can figure out my horrible bulldozer. So if a bulldozer pushing over some trees, and then another thing that I've noticed, you can use the white sort of as an eraser. So I just go ahead and select like a big white marker and erase the trees. And kids were guessing it really, really quickly when I got to this point. So you don't have to treat it like a static drawing. You can treat it kind of like a video. But on my side, I don't see any of their guesses. It blocks all that stuff out. You just draw until all the guesses are done or time runs out, and then it stops you. So in my case, you can see we're down to like single digits. I had one student who just could not figure out what I was drawing, and I mean, the shame. Okay, so as you finish up the very last drawing with your class and you're ready to end the lesson or end the game style, you just click end game, and then it will give you that running total that it does every time of who wins. And yes, I put the beat down on my kids, and that's okay with me. It's sort of like boss mode. They love competing against you, whether you win or lose that part. I mean, who cares? It's just fun to get that motivation up and to keep them working a little bit harder. I think it's always fun to do that. All right, so my advice, my tips and tricks here. Number one is think really carefully about which kit you're going to use when you generate this game style. It needs to be a vocabulary and definition style kit, number one. Number two, you might want to think about the words that are in there. I built this one especially for Earth Day, but I am going to be doing some environmental chemistry, so I'm not really concerned about duplicating these terms. But if you have a kit that's out there, duplicate it, delete the things that you don't think kids can draw. Certain concepts are difficult, some are easier. Maybe build the kit that way. That would be number one. Number two is use Kit Collab. Kids know it would be fun to draw, and you always get to approve the things that they put in there. So use a Kit Collab after an assignment, have the kids build the things they're going to draw, and that motivation is just going to keep going up. The next thing I would say is assign your kit as homework, but instead of the like $500,000 limit that they suggest, bring it way down. Just enough time to give the kids exposure to those words, because unfortunately spelling is an issue. I know we have spell check and kids can figure out exactly how to spell things, but in this case, it's helpful for them to have practice seeing the words that are going to appear up there and to know the spelling so that they can make proper guesses. It just makes it go a little bit smoother. And last of all, I said I would give you my Earth Day list if you want to use that with your students today, tomorrow, whenever. It is in Gimkit. You can go ahead and search for Earth Day, draw that, and my name. If you want to search for it that way, it is out there. But also, if you want to just download the list in the Google Sheet or comma separated values format, I'll go ahead and link that in the description as well from my website, kicksomeclass.com, and you can just upload or import those questions right into your own, and you can have it. So I hope that was helpful. I really hope you like this video. Subscribe if you want more videos like this, and share it with somebody you think could benefit from it. I'll catch you guys next time.